Hello there everybody, a very good morning to you all and welcome back to howtotrade.com and welcome back to another live stream here in our trading room and of course on our YouTube, X, Facebook and LinkedIn channels. I hope everyone is doing well after what's been a very historic last 24 hours really. We are very, very close to crowning, should we say, Donald Trump as the victor. It's all but done, and the markets are reacting quite aggressively to that. And if you tuned into the stream yesterday, you will know that a lot of the predictions that we made were correct. We said be very careful about selling stocks if Trump wins. We know we had that gap down in 2016, but the Trump rally did follow, and the dollar index pretty much done exactly what we said if Trump was to win, and that was move up towards 105 and has now exceeded 105. So my job now really for today's stream is to come on and I don't really need to go through too much about what's happened in the election. I'm sure you guys are fully aware of everything that's gone on. And yeah, if you are around, feel free to pop up and say hello. And are there any markets that you're now trading or any markets you now want me to analyze for you? Feel free to let me know in the comments section. Hello to you all in the trading room, of course. It's good to see you all. Good morning to you, Dibble. Hello to you, Marco, Curtin, Danis, Bobby, Wizard Alvin, Clone. It's good to see you all. And thank you very much for tuning in. If you are from the US and you are on this stream, I hope you managed to get some sleep because it's now like 4 o'clock in the morning there or whatever, so hopefully you managed to get some sleep. If not, or maybe some people are just having an all-nighter, which would be quite funny. Hello to you, Jerry. Good to see you. Good to see you, my great mentor. Hello to you, Jerry. It's good to see you as well. Hello to you, David. Hope you are doing well, and thank you very much for the message. Now, just to quickly show you, what the situation is right now. It isn't official, but it's as official as unofficial can be. We have Trump now at 267, Harris at 224, 270 is the electoral votes needed to win. And yeah, you can go on any of the news channels. It's everywhere in the news, of course. I was listening to Trump's speech earlier this morning, quite early in the morning for me, saying how this was a historic and the greatest comeback in politics, and that he's going to vow really to fix the economy. I think that was some of the biggest issues that people had previously, and also stop the wars. Lots of promises made, and we'll see if those promises are kept. The former president was rejected by the majority of Americans in the 2020 during his re-election campaign. He's on track to return to the White House with electoral college and popular vote victories, flipping nearly every single swing state that President Joe Biden won in 2020. This is not just a routine win. This has been a bit of a comprehensive win in those tight states. The Republicans basically won it all. Hello to you, Jalen, as well. Good to see you. So yeah, very interesting. You can see him down at the bottom here. Addressing everybody. So yeah, very interesting one. And for the markets, the reaction's been quite decisive. There's been a lot of hype, and we're going to have a look now just to see where we think markets will be going. So let me just quickly go on to TradingView now and head over to the dollar index, which, as you can see, pretty much has done exactly what we thought it would do. This is previous markings that we had. We said that if Trump was going to win, then that 105 level on the dollar index I thought was going to be hit. With Trump he was the favourite with most of the bookies, I said that what we'd been seeing really with this move in the dollar index had been the markets really pricing in a Trump win. He was predicted to win, although it was very close. And so I think that there was more of a risk to the markets if Harris was to win. And so we would have seen a bit of a more of a sharper move because not as much of it had been priced in. So now we see Trump coming in. We now have to be very careful when it comes to trade ideas. What does that mean for the future? Well, it depends what policies he brings in and what policies he decides to prioritize. Now, we know with the tariffs, that's the reason why Trump was seen as more inflationary. And that's why we see the dollar index spiking up to 105. When we marry that up to the likes of euro dollar, for example, what we can now see what happened here is the that fair value gap we had was completely obliterated. We now have a new leg to the downside, and that Trump win target on the euro dollar of 1.076 has now been hit. And in fact, we actually come and tested 1.07. So what wouldn't surprise me now is with what we see on the likes of euro dollar is a bit of a grind. You know, maybe even a bit of a move higher, and maybe some sort of flag to be formed. If we look at the daily chart, you can see at the moment what we have is this daily fair value gap is being reacted from. But it would not surprise me now if it's a difficult trade today, because as you can see, this is the biggest, most volatile day or biggest mover for euro dollar this year comfortably. Okay. And so what we need to be careful of is piling into sales right away and actually wait for the market structure to form. So actually this today, I think, is going to be quite a difficult day to trade, because I think what we want to see is the markets just, you know, start to consolidate and maybe form some sort of bearish flag, or we can utilize the trend rider opportunity, the trend rider strategy. And that is where we see these EMAs, and this trend rider strategy is in our academy, in our strategies, and it's a really, really good trading strategy for when the markets start to trend, which I believe they're going to start to do, or have started to do, after Trump's all but victory, right? Let's just call it Trump's victory. If you want to know more about this strategy, howtrade.com, completely free. You can come over and check out the educational content that we've got, and the strategy that we're looking at is called the Trend Rider. It utilizes two moving averages, which is the EMA 12 and the EMA 36. And then what we're going to do is we're waiting for this blue EMA to cross down below this orange one. And when we get that, what we're then looking for is the gap between the EMAs to be at least 30 pips. And as you can see on euro dollar, we've got a 50 pip gap, right? And then what we do is we go short at the test of the EMA 12, a stop loss just above the EMA 36, which is in orange, and then we just try and ride the trend to the downside. And so if you want my euro dollar trade idea for today, it would be something that looks like this. That's the best way we can try and pile into some of the some of the momentum, should we say. Now you can do that on a Switch Markets account, and you can deposit up to $5,000, and they will match your deposit up to $5,000 as well. So make sure you check that one out. Just reading some of the questions that are coming through. Bryn, yes, we're going to have a look at silver and gold, of course, and we're also going to look at USD yen clone as well. So with that trend rider with strategy, we can see we've just had a signal, 33 pip gap. So you can see how this is working. Already trading at 1-to-1. So unfortunately, that's one that's already been done. USD versus the Swiss franc. Again, here we go. Stopped out of this trade because I was short USD Swiss franc, but I did minimize my risk. And as you can see, once again, we've got that bullish crossover. The EMA 12 crossing above the EMA 36. Only a 25 pip gap on this one, to be fair. But as you can see, it's really managed to, allow us to get onto that trend. And I think the same sort of thing now on USD versus the Japanese yen. As you can see, previously what we had was a weekly Fibonacci, which was from from really when we saw that Japanese yen strength coming through. That 61.8 is now pretty much being broken. And now we're trading up into this supply zone. So we're still in sort of territory where we could look to sell. However, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove those drawings. And what I'm going to do is look for buying opportunities. And those opportunities will come at the test of that EMA 12. And then we can look to maybe ride that USD yen much, much higher. So I'm remain bullish on the US dollar now, definitely, with Trump winning. And I think that what we need to do is be patient and wait for some of these Forex pairs to test their EMA 12s. You're going to get a similar sort of thing on AED USD, but a bit stronger there, AED USD. NZD, not quite showing anything. USD CAD's not really showing anything either. Now let's look at gold. Gold's a very interesting one because yesterday we said if Trump was to win and the dollar index strengthens, you would expect gold and silver both to fall off with it being dollar denominated. And I said yes, that is true initially, but gold and silver are still bullish, and Trump is seen, I would say, as more, how do I put this correctly? He's probably seen as a bit more confrontational. He might be seen as someone who could aggravate conflicts rather than remove conflicts, should we just say. And I think when you've got times of uncertainty like that, gold and silver and commodities are seen as a safe haven asset. You've still got all these wars going on. And so it doesn't surprise me that if you look at the dollar move, it's been quite decisive. But the gold move, we did move lower on gold, but you can see that the market has snapped back. So if you guys are looking for gold and silver to sink as a result of Trump being in, I would say be very careful with that analysis. And I would maybe wait and see where gold's going. As per the trend rider opportunity, there isn't really much, but we just got that first sort of 4 hour bearish crossover, and you can see how we come up and tested that literally, this morning, and we are retracing. So what I'm going to say for gold, the way that I would play it is that let's wait for these moving averages to expand a little bit more. Okay. Let's wait for those moving averages to expand. Let's say it looks a little bit like this. And then let the price do its grind. And then when we get that retest, that's when we can go short on gold. But until then, it might be a case of, it might be smarter to sort of buy the dips here at the moment. It's a market for me which I'm staying clear of. If you're going to short commodities, I've always said that silver probably looks your best bet, as you can see. A lot more bearish, you can see with that crossover, and it's been respected of that crossover, and you can now see, yeah, we did reject today, but we are still hovering below this EMA 12, so we may even get another retest just here. And then we can look to play that lower if you like. So I think there's still some uncertainty about what policies Trump's going to bring in and what ones he's going to prioritize and what that looks like, how he's going to approach the war situation. And so I think that while that's still in play, I think it'll be a difficult sell for commodities. And if you're going to play the dollar strength story, it's much better to play it on those Forex pairs. The stock market. The stock market is quite interesting. I'm going to delete all these Fibonacci's that I've got now. As you can see, what we've got here is a market which is really, I'm just going to delete all that. I'm going to start fresh here. S&P 500, you can see the reaction. Oh, my bad. You can see the reaction from the S&P 500. So if you were someone who thought Trump was going to win and you thought you was going to get this euphoric Trump rally, you were correct. I actually thought maybe initially with Trump came in that we might see a little bit of a lower move in the stock market in the short term, because that happened in 2016, and then that Trump rally followed for 4 years. But he's been very, very bullish about the stock market, and he's definitely going to want these staying at all-time highs, and he's talking about cutting taxes and all that sort. He's talking about a lot of inflationary things, like stimulus almost into the markets. That's why we're seeing such a big move higher. So again, with this at the moment, you have to be so careful. We're already up 2.7% on the Dow, 2.1% on the S&P 500, and nearly 1.7% on the Nasdaq. So when you look at that, the best buy really is this Dow Jones, which, as you can see, is now blasting up to all-time highs, or exceeding all-time highs. But there will come a time where we get another opportunity for another dip, like we got there, and like we've had here and here. Okay, so let the euphoria play out. Let the market settle wherever it may settle. Let it pause, let it consolidate, maybe even let it retrace a little bit. And let's be patient, because yes, I'm bullish on stocks. And I think that what we need to show is patience, because if you get FOMO and start buying it now, then you have to be very careful. If you are going to, buy the stock market today, just wait for these little 5-minute pullbacks and sort of just take one-to-ones and just try and get in and out of the market really quickly. It's not something that I like to do, but it's something that you could do. Yeah, and I think, Bryn, I don't think that's that. I think that's a fairly that's a fair analysis. Thinking pullbacks in gold are good for buyers right now, and silver. Yeah, and I wouldn't disagree with that actually, of how it looks. Danish, I did have a quick look at AD USD. If you're gonna play the dollar strength, it doesn't look like that's really the best market to play. As you can see, we have got a bit of a retracement here. Let me just remove all these drawings, because everything has changed now. I'm starting fresh on everything. That's a bit of a mess. It's not really clear, is it? In fact, I would argue that if you're going to see I would argue that what's happened here is the sell side liquidity has been taken, and now the market's actually maybe threatening to reverse still. So it wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, this high will be very important. If we now get a break of this high, we then wait for the pullback into our order block, and then we play it higher. So if you're going to play dollar weakness and you think this is overbought and you think this story is just, it's all hype, etc. If you're going to play that dollar weakness, AUD USD is the best. But if you're going to play dollar strength, it looks really nice on dollar yen, euro dollar, in particular those two, and also cable as well with the trend rider. So yeah, I think a sensible trader like me, who trades on say 4-hour and daily timeframes now, what I'm going to do is, now we'll have a new person. What's the update? Where are we looking? Is it one yet? I think we need to wait for these markets to settle. 267 still. We need to wait for these markets to settle a little bit. I like potential pullbacks, buys in gold. I like the euro dollar play to the downside if we can manage to get a trend rider trade. I like it as well for dollar yen. As you can see here, I like that trade as well. And I do like more stock upside, but it's going to have to be on a lower time frame. You have to take some riskier scalps today, and it's not something that I really want to do. Okay, good stuff. Right, I will drop a trade idea in the room. I'm about to write an article on where I think some of these forex pairs are going. So feel free to take a look at that one. If anyone does have any more questions, I'm active in the room. You can message me at any time.